So Donald Trump is celebrating his win. He's speaking to leaders, he's spending time with family, and he's currently camping in Mar-a-Lago. That's his luxury resort in Florida. Meanwhile, his team is at work to prepare for the transition of power. Hectic meetings are underway. The first priority is to pick office bearers. That's candidates for the Trump cabinet. Several people are being vetted. And while this process is in focus only now, it began quite some time ago. That's right, the battle for these jobs began long before Election Day. So who are the top picks? Who are the people who will make up the cabinet for Trump 2.0? First, of course, is the Vice President. Now, we already know who that will be. J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate. Vance is 40 years old. He is the first millennial on a major party's presidential ticket, one of the youngest elected vice presidents in America. He will also be the first former Marine to hold this post. So a lot of firsts right there. J.D. Vance used to be a venture capitalist. In 2016, he wrote a memoir called Hillbilly Elegy. That's what shot him to fame. In 2017, he called Trump, and I'm quoting, a moral disaster. Clearly, he's changed his views since then. In 2022, he ran for the first time for political office, and now, 2 years later, he is the vice president-elect. Next up is Secretary of State, the person shaping America's foreign policy, especially with 2 wars underway. So it is a crucial post. And there are a few choices here. One of them is Rick Grenell, Trump's former ambassador to Germany. He has a tough stance on NATO, also on defense spending, which makes him one of Trump's top picks. There's also Bill Hagerty, Trump's former ambassador to Japan. He is known for his strong views on China. Also in the running is Marco Rubio, Florida's senator and a Trump ally since 2016. Then there's the defense secretary, another important position. And there are a lot of contenders here too, but there's one name that is emerging stronger than the others, Mike Pompeo. He's already worked under Trump as CIA head and Secretary of State, so Pompeo could be back for a second stint. Fourth on the list is Treasury Secretary. Trump won because he pledged to fix the economy, so he needs someone who can do that. The top pick is Scott Bessent. He is a hedge fund investor, also an economic advisor to Trump. He supported his use of tariffs before. Another contender is Lary Kudlow, a prominent TV financial analyst. He was the director of Trump's National Economic Council. Fifth is the health secretary. Again, many names in the mix here, but only one stands out, and that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He abandoned his own presidential bid to endorse Trump. He wants to make America healthy again, and Trump seems to like that. He's promised to let Kennedy, and I'm quoting, go wild with health. But it's going to be difficult. Even Republicans are unlikely to confirm this appointment. So RFK Jr. may not get the job after all. We'll have to wait and see. But he could still influence health policies, maybe as a White House health czar. And finally, there's the chief of staff. During his last 4 years in the White House, Donald Trump had 4 chiefs of staff. That's a very high attrition rate for such a position. So he may want to avoid it this time, and that means picking loyalists, like Susie Wiles, Trump's campaign manager, or Kevin McCarthy, the former U.S. House Speaker. Those are the important positions, but some other names are being floated too, like Indian origin Kash Patel. He's a Trump loyalist. In his previous cabinet, Patel was a national security official. Now he's being considered again, possibly for an intelligence role, like the CIA director or the director of national intelligence. And we also have Elon Musk, of course. He doesn't want a cabinet position. He wants an entire new department. It's called DOGE. That's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. The Tesla CEO wants to lead it to make the government run smoother. So those are some of Donald Trump's top picks. We don't know who he will choose eventually, but we know what his top criterion is, and that is loyalty. He talked about it on the Joe Rogan podcast. He said he regretted picking some people the last time. A lot of them abandoned him, so he wouldn't want to make the same mistakes. But while Trump may have his favorites, his party may not agree with all of them. You see, they were all behind him, united behind him during the campaign. But when it comes to running the government, there's a split. You have your traditional Republicans. They want a strong foreign policy, endless wars, and cutting down social spending. Then there's the populists, your J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., and even Tucker Carlson. They don't want the wars. They want to cut military aid. They want to boost industries. So that will be a battle going forward. We'll have to wait and see how it impacts the functioning of the Trump government.